Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nathan, and I am a 25-year-old runner currently living in Seattle and training for the Eugene Half Marathon, which is in under 4 weeks' time by now. Today is March 31st, Tuesday, the last day of March. And this year's flying by. But yeah, we have under 4 weeks left, and I just had my biggest training week this last week. 40 miles in total, including a 14-mile long run on Saturday. And let me tell you, it was tough. We'll get into it in our tea talk, of course. I think that's the longest week or the most amount of miles I've ever ran in a week, which is kind of crazy. But nevertheless, we also have a run today. We still have 4 more weeks of prep. Well, 3 more weeks of prep before our race. And in order to do that, we need to feed ourselves. So let's get some grub and some tea. All right, the tea is heating up. And today, going with the Japan mug, of course. And as always, the sweet and spicy tea. This is black tea, if anyone is wondering. I like to get just a little bit of caffeine in the morning. Caffeine doesn't affect me too much, so it's not like I go crazy or anything. It's just kind of a nice little way to warm up, I guess. And then we will be pairing that this morning with some Medjool dates from Costco. As some of you know, I've kind of been off my date grind recently, but this batch has been sitting in my pantry for so long, and I need to eat them. So that's what we're gonna do today. And these ones are way creamier than the last ones, so these ones are actually good. I like these. All right, time to pour. I will let that sit for a little bit. And then we got 2 more dates to eat. Trick shot, of course. And a little behind the back action. There we go. Alrighty, the tea is piping. So let's get over to the couch. Alright, welcome back to the couch, people. It's been a few weeks, but we have returned. Yeah, it's too hot. Okay, we'll let that sit and get into our talk today, which is about the work that nobody sees, what happens during a 40-mile training week that doesn't involve not only just the running, but everything else, the recovery, the sleep, the nutrition, the plan making, all this other stuff that a lot of people don't see in my videos or in real life. So we're going to get into that this morning. Now, as I just said, this was the longest running week, the most amount of miles I've ran in a week in my entire life, 40 miles, which to a beginner probably seems like a lot, and to an advanced elite runner probably seems like a down week to them. But for me, it was pretty tough. It wasn't anything I couldn't handle, but it was challenging. I can fully say that. And basically throughout the week, if I take you guys through what it looked like, Tuesday I did a 7-mile easy run. I usually do my easy runs on Wednesdays to split my speed workouts, but for some reason I couldn't do that this week. Oh, it was because I was too sore from my leg workout on Monday, because I had just come back from traveling. So I got really sore on Monday, and I didn't want to screw up my tempo run because my legs were sore. So I just did an easy run. I now remember that. And it was in the evening, my first ever evening run of this whole prep too. Wow, okay. It was a big week for me, I guess. And then on Wednesday, did a tempo run. I think it was about 4 miles at tempo pace, and that wasn't too bad. And then Thursday was an interval run, And this thing was absolutely brutal, let me tell you. It was basically 5 by 1K repeats at 6:15 per mile. But then on top of that, for each rep, another 200 meters at 5:35 pace. And my legs were already pretty sore from, the tempo run the day before. So adding on that kicker at the end of these fast 1K repeats, I literally could not hang on. I don't even think I hit that 5:35 pace for that last 200 until the final rep, because I know if I gave it all I had for each rep, I was not going to finish the workout. So we just, let my body store some energy for that last rep. But let me tell you, that was a really hard workout, and I was completely dead after that one. And then another hard workout was my Saturday long run, which again, 14 miles, longest single individual run of the prep. And half of it was at my half marathon goal pace, which is 6:50 per mile, since I'm training for a sub 1:30 half marathon in Eugene. So I need to run about 6:50 per mile. And yeah, half of those miles were at 6:50. And that was also really hard. It wasn't as, I don't even know how to describe it, because obviously it's a bit more endurance based because you're running for almost 2 hours total. But yeah, my legs were hurting a lot and my feet were hurting a lot, especially towards that second half. But we were able to get it done. We were jamming out to the tunes. I was able to pretty much run the entire time without stopping, unless there were stoplights or something like that. And I ate my gels as I was running, so it was a good practice race for me. And yeah, again, I was dead after that one, but it went really well too. And then Sunday, just 6 easy miles to wrap up the week for 40 miles total. So yeah, that was a really, really tough week of training, but got it done. And I feel really good about it because I'm heading into my taper for half marathon race, which means everything's technically going to get a little bit easier from here on out. The volume's going to dip, but there'll still be, fast speed workouts going forward too. And going into kind of a single example from this week about, the preparation needed for not only the whole week, but one of these runs, I wanted to talk about that 14-mile long run, which for me in this state of my prep and time, that's the furthest I've been running in any time period in the last 5 years. So it was a big run for me. It was a big workout for me. And I knew I needed to prepare properly for it. So doing things like, I made sure to kind of clear that Friday night out, not have any big plans to do, not go out, don't have drinks, don't stay up super late, don't eat a bunch of crappy food, make sure to hydrate, make sure to get to bed on time, get my proper, 8+ hours of sleep the night before. And then the morning of, I always like to at least have a couple hours to kind of decompress and prepare for these runs. So not only is it the nighttime routine before a long run where I need to stay hydrated and fueled that entire week leading up to it, but the morning of, I'm someone who likes to kind of just sit down, relax, watch some TV, of course, have time to eat and hydrate in that sense, get the proper nutrition in, because for something like that, you're going to need a lot of carbs beforehand and you're going to need time to digest. And then also, knowing me personally, I need time to let it all flow out too. So that'll happen a few times. If I run right away, that is not a good idea for me. So need to let that happen. And then also just mentally prepare on the couch if I'm watching some running YouTube video, or just chatting with someone, or just kind of being in my own thoughts and mentally preparing, visualizing what the run's going to look like. That also counts. And then recently for my long runs, I've been getting in my massage boots in the morning, and I feel like that's really been helping too. Just kind of help flush things out again. And then once I get to the trailhead or wherever I start the run, I'll have my massage gun, so I'll massage out. I'll do a really proper, thorough warm-up. I'll have however many gels I need for the run. This run I had 3, so I got to prepare for that. And yeah, just kind of get psyched up, wear the proper shoes, wear the proper gear that kind of feels like what I might wear on race day, choose a route that I might, am either used to or is going to replicate the race. So I went to the Burt Gilman, which obviously I normally go to, but it has, a few rolling hills here and there in it, which are similar to that of the Eugene Half Marathon. So all of these little things that you really don't see, that I don't put on camera too often, and it takes me time to think about, process, prepare for, and it's a multi-day thing in order to be successful in these runs. Because I will tell you, if I was up really late that night and ran early in the morning without all of the preparation, without relaxing in the morning, without flushing out my legs, without properly hydrating, with only getting 6 hours of sleep, having a glass of alcohol the night before, I would not have been able to do that. I promise you, it would have sucked so hard. That run would have been the worst run of my life, trying to hit the paces that I needed to. And yeah, that's kind of how it goes almost every single week. There's things that you have to do to prepare, have to sacrifice, have to recover from, and have to fuel and hydrate, and all of these different things that nobody sees that you have to be doing if you want to perform to the level that you see yourself performing at and hit the goals that you want to hit. And now that's just one example from my last week, but if we include the entire week, obviously getting enough sleep is super important. I try to get 8 hours every night. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's 7.5. I'm a little addicted to my phone every now and then, I have to say. So I might stay up just a little bit later, but it's usually at least 7.5 hours, which is good. And then the amount of time recovering after a run, not just sleep, but also I have my massage gun, I have my massage boots that can take, an hour plus of my time to do. If you don't have some tool like that, obviously you can use a foam roller, you can use your own hands, you can use like a lacrosse ball, different things like that to get those kinks out. You can stretch a lot, which I do too. Even at the gym, I'll spend 10 minutes stretching after every time I go to the gym as a preventative measure, as a way to make my body more elastic and prepared and recovered for the next session. So all of those things go into it in terms of sleep and recovery. And then for nutrition, hydration, I'm trying to consume a lot of food, a lot of whole healthy food throughout the week, which funny enough is actually like really easy for me because I love eating food. It's one of my greatest strengths, I do have to say. But yeah, that part's pretty easy for me. But the hydration piece, I'm not the best water drinker, so I try to get that down as much as possible. I definitely notice when I'm not drinking water as much as I should, I'll cramp up on my runs, and that makes it 10 times harder. So trying to get enough hydration fluids in my body throughout the week, especially leading up to that long run, is super duper important. Oh, I guess also revolving around food, knowing what foods not to eat before certain runs. I can't eat Chipotle before a long run because that thing will come up, I swear to God, on the long run. So kind of, choosing your foods wisely is also really important. I can't do something like spicy the night before a big run. Even some of my like easier, shorter runs, it does not feel good. So make sure you know what you're putting in your body. You know that you're used to it before running, so nothing bad happens when you go on that run. And then finally, also just being able to make sacrifices in the week. If you have, like I said, a really long, tough workout the next morning, probably not a good idea to stay up really late, go out, do whatever. So it's okay to have a chill night in and be able to prepare for that. And then just also throughout the week, making sure you have the time to fit in your runs, fit in your workout, fit in time to recover, fit in your sleep time, all of these things that are if they're important to you, you need to be able to make time for them and not have excuses and not, overbook things where you're unable to finish workouts on a consistent basis. You need to be able to plan your week out ahead of time, which I usually like to do every Monday. I'll spend like an hour planning out my work schedule and my running schedule and just my life schedule. And it really sets me up for the week and it sets me up for success as well. So yeah, all in all, The runs themselves for me right now, 5 times a week, it'll probably be about 6 to 7 hours. Okay, I'm not going to do it. 6 to 7 hours of running per week, just strictly running. But then if you include all of the preparation, like I just talked about, that's another, honestly, probably another 6 to 7 hours. Okay, that's so cringe. Another 6 to 7 hours of preparation. That's not running affiliated whatsoever. That's driving to the trail. That's sleeping, eating. Okay, well, not including sleeping, but preparing for sleep, recovering, massage booting, eating, hydrating, planning out your week. All of these different things that are really important, and I would not be able to, you know, I would not be at the level of fitness I am at today if I did not have that preparation. I would not even be close. It's about the consistency. It's about doing it week in, week out. And after adding that up, that's about 12 to 15 hours a week. It's like a part-time job, to be honest, of training for one of these races. So full respect to anyone out there training for a half marathon, a marathon, whatever it is. It's a lot of time. It really is. And that's not even including these YouTube videos that I make. So pop in more hours there. But of course, I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy the running. I enjoy this training prep. I enjoy the whole process. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just telling you, it does take a lot of time out of your schedule. And you have to kind of find that why and that purpose for doing this, or else it's probably just going to start fading away. So for me, I really like to take on challenges. I like to overcome obstacles. I like to put in time and dedication. And this prep has taught me a lot about patience as well. But yeah, I think this is running and this half marathon prep has been a really good tool for a lot of those skills, those subjective skills that I've been able to learn and grow. And it really, it makes me want to continue to get better and to continue to improve as a person. I want to ask myself, like, did I become better today? And am I not just being stagnant throughout life? I want to have new experiences and challenge myself and try new things. And I think this is one of those things that allows me to do that. And if you're asking yourself, like, have I just kind of been sitting around and been the same person all these years? Have I not changed at all? And I think running is a really good tool in order to help yourself grow. And if you can truly ask yourself, like, at the end of the day, did I improve today? Did I get better today? And you're able to say yes, then that's a really good sign that you're growing. And it doesn't have to be anything major. You don't have to run. You don't have to do what I'm doing. It can be completely whatever you enjoy, whatever you want in life. It can be work, relationship related. It can be some sort of hobby you really enjoy. But sticking day in, day out, being consistent, doing all of the small things each and every day that a lot of people probably won't see, but it makes you fulfilled and happy to an extent. Of course, there's going to be hard times, but it mostly makes you happy and fulfilled, and you enjoy the anticipation of it, and you're growing and learning from it, and you're becoming a better person, a better human. You're learning all these different things. So I think that's probably the most important takeaway that I have from today. And I hope you guys can take that going into your next running prep or your next prep of something else in life. So stop worrying about what others are doing. Stop worrying about what you haven't done. Think about what you can do today that's going to make you better. And that's something that can stick with you forever, each and every day. And it's a really good reminder. So that's what I use a lot of the time. And I hope that's what you use going forward, at least from today. And yeah, it kind of wraps up today's Tea Talk. Hope you all enjoyed. Now, time to go hit an interval run, a very hard one. Oh boy. Okay, we got it. We can do this. I'll see you guys there. Oh my God, it is cold. All right, folks, we have made it to the trailhead. Fit time. We got the Adidas Adizero Evo SLs in white. We got some random Amazon socks. Lululemon Fast and Free half tight. Absolutely goated. And then this like Lulu quarter zip. And then the Koros Pace 3 watch. Best watch in the game. You already know what it is. And then we got a CLA hat. So yeah, that's the fit today. And then the workout of the day, it's an interval run. I don't know the exact paces off the top of my head, but I know it's like a drop set workout. So there's 2 reps at, I think, 3/4 of a mile, 2 reps at 1,000 meters, 2 reps at half a mile, and then 2 reps at 600 meters. Obviously, I'll have it on one side of the screen or the other to show you guys, but it looks pretty tough. It looks pretty fast. So yeah, today's gonna be a doozy, but pretty good weather. Besides the fact that it's cold, I think it'll be nice out here. It's not windy, so that's good. But yeah, that's the workout. So let's hit the warm up and then we'll get out there. Oh, and again, my legs are pretty sore from the gym yesterday. And included in the message today, for the things that people don't see, gotta be warming up, gotta be cooling down a little bit. Again, I've said this in my videos, but keeping it dynamic, where you're moving around a lot, is usually the best way to warm your muscles up before a run. So that's what I like to do, only for about 5 minutes before my runs, if that, maybe even 3. But I've stayed injury free my entire running career, if you can call it that. But yeah, okay, that's the warm up done. Just act like I'm heading out, you know how it is. All right, see you guys. Alrighty, we're out on the warm up. And speaking of warm ups, not only should you do like the dynamic stretching before, but before like a fast workout, I'd always recommend warming up with like an easy run. Run usually has me doing about 1 mile to 1.5 miles warm up every time, and that usually gets the blood flowing. And then I'll do some like strides, kind of at like faster paces, in order to get my like legs prepared for that like intensity, the foot turnover, all that stuff. Damn, it is crispy out here today. My face feels like an iceberg. I'm not gonna be able to film the reps themselves probably, but I'll try to get some clips in between. So let's get it. All right, that's 2 reps, 3/4 of a mile at 6:20 per mile. Ooh, this is gonna suck. That was really hard. But and my knee started to hurt a little bit, like not in a, oh, I can get through this, but like some like sharp pains. So we'll see how this next rep goes, but not looking forward to this. Alrighty, that's 2 reps at the 1K done. Those are actually a little better than the first 2 reps, so I think that's a good sign. And now we got 2 half-mile reps at 6 minutes per mile. Oh boy. Alright, let's do it. Alright, 2 half miles done. Holy, that was also really hard. I couldn't hit the 6-minute pace. It was around like 6:05, so still within the range. It's just, my legs are just feeling so heavy today. But that's all right. Still getting pretty close. So just the last 2 at
I think 5:55. Oh man. Okay, okay. But it's only 600 meters, so I guess that's the good side. Okay, wish me luck. We did it, people. Ooh, that was a doozy. Final 2 reps done. The first one was at like a 6 minute, and then the second one, that was pretty much all out. I got her at a 5:40 per mile pace, which I'm really happy with. But yeah, that was again really tough. Like I said, the volume is going to get a little bit lower the next few weeks, but the speed ain't going nowhere. So that oh, I guess I gotta start heading back now. But yeah, time for the cool down, and I'll see you guys back at the car.
Oh boy. Get me out of these shoes. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, that is run done. 7.11 miles, 59:56 total time, 8:26 average pace. Good Lord, that was hard. We are really in it now. For some of the reps, like I said, I wasn't able to hit a few of the paces, just like a few, 5 seconds slower per mile average, so nothing to worry about, given that I'm just feeling a little sore. So solid workout. I'm happy. I put max effort into that workout, so that's really all I can give. And we finished out with a fast last rep, so that's really good. I'll make sure to put the rep times also on the side of the screen somewhere so you guys can check that out. But yeah, that wraps up everything for today. And like I said earlier in the tea talk, you got to do a lot of things that people don't see, a lot of things that are just kind of mundane, monotonous, boring, not the most fun or exciting, but you really got to get it done if you do want to perform to your potential, especially in running. The sleeping, the recovering, the eating, the hydration, the preparation, physical and mental, all these things go into becoming a better, faster runner. And then of course you can take those into other aspects of life, which is the best part about it, But yeah, that wraps everything up for this week. I'll see you guys next week with another video. Make sure to follow my Strava, get a 2-week free trial of Runna if you want to. It's completely free, down in the description. And again, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next video.